Disclaimer: I'm a human and have the right to have an opinion. Just relax, man. It's a movie. Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna is a 2006 romance drama ensemble film. It stars some of the most known names in Bollywood, from Amitabh Bachchan to his son Abhishek Bachchan, to the amazing Preity Zinta and Rani Mukerji, and obviously Shah Rukh Khan. The film was released in 2006 when I was just an innocent little kid MDR. I watched this film and absolutely loved it. And I still love it for two reasons: nostalgia and 2000s aesthetic. Well, three classic songs as well. Now, I hadn't seen this film in over a decade when I decided to rewatch it recently, and in the present day, Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna shows some obvious aging and outdated aspects, but it is still a film worthy to explore and analyze. So let's do it. See, if I were to describe it, Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna sounds like a textbook love affair story. It does not sound like it can do anything beyond that like Kal Ho Na Ho does. It revolves around the professional and personal lives of two couples, Dev and Riya Saran, and Rishi and Maya Talwar. Good thanks to strange coincidences, they end up crossing each other's paths many times over several years. And as you would expect, Dev, married to Riya, falls in love with Maya. And Rishi and Riya get close too, but they sort of become victims and culprits of how things turn out with their partners. The one trope that this film deals admirably with is love. Love not in simple circumstances like boy meets girl, no, but loving someone who is not your own, loving another woman, another man while you're still bounded by marriage with someone else, with strong commitments, like having a child, or having been taken care of ever since you were a little kid. So now that you're all grown up, you're just sort of married to a person you don't even love. Unlike most Hollywood films that sort of glorify or find the idea of a man taking someone else's wife cool, where both the lover and the cheater have no regrets and you must feel bad for this guy or girl who got cheated on, Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna puts its own spin on it. You feel bad for even the cheaters in this film. Forget feeling bad for the guy who got cheated on. It also focuses on how tragic can it be for the person who is cheating, as well as for the person who he or she is cheating with. Simply put, it explores the guilt in human nature, but the tendency to do what you want for yourself as well at the same time. It's very, it's really sad. To look at this tragedy of two marriages falling apart in such circumstances and to have a look at them from the other end of a tunnel is what this film attempts to show, which is why it feels so fresh to watch Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna, even in today's time. So much so that even when a Bollywood audience, which usually gets disconnected due to unwanted songs, in this film, even in a party song, you see Dev and Maya going ahead to cheer on their partners as the trance beats blend in with a guilty romance roar in Shankar Mahadevan's voice. It's just something else. Kabhi Alvida Naa Kehna is brutally honest about love and cheating and extramarital affairs that even now are issues people find awkward to talk about, and presenting a 3.5-hour long film on it back in 2006 is probably a major reason why this film didn't work as well as it would have, say, if it released now. There is no doubt that the film is extraordinarily lengthy, but when you sit down to watch it, you never actually feel the film dragging other than a thing or two which the film could have done without. And there's a lot of subplots in the film too, not with many side characters, but in the main lead only. There's a lot of subplots, these little things going on in the film, which I think adds to both the character development in a good sense, but then in a bad sense for the commercial film viewing audience. Who wants to go to a cinema and sit there for 4 hours? It's gonna take whole your day. You know what I'm saying? Like Rishi Talwar's father's character, played by Amitabh Bachchan, as a perverted old man throughout the film, but then in a turn of events ends up giving great advice to Maya's character, who is confused about who to love and what to do in that situation she is. It's the sort of character development that you don't expect, but you kind of feel it throughout the entire film, that this man has become this way because something totally opposite must have happened in his life at some point that has driven him to become in this manner. Every character is well written in this film, and you see their development as the film goes on. But if there is any character out of the lead cast that I feel is the least explored, it has to be Rishi Talwar. His character is sort of left out of many things and is not really in control of a lot of situations and mostly doesn't know what's going on. So he's kind of like this ignorant person who the audience has to ignore because he doesn't know what the hell is going on anytime. This is not to say that he doesn't participate in a lot of cool things in the film, like this very cool 2000s party song to his name, or how he's the one who ends up rejoicing the rest of the cast. Anyway, in my mind, for some reason, I remembered both Kal Ho Na Ho and Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna to be at the same stature. But I don't think I can say the same after having a rewatch of both. Even though their settings are in the same country, even the same city, a lot of the same actors, producers, even the same musicians. The only issue that I have with Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna is simple. It came out at the wrong time. Now, both for its time and order of release. The first reason I've already explained. Let me explain the second. Kal Ho Na Ho subverted a lot of viewer expectations, and I think that's why the film works so well. If you do not know what I'm talking about, you can watch my video Kal Ho Na Ho is better than La La Land for that. But anyway, Kal Ho Na Ho's first plot twist is what Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna is solely based upon. Remember when Nana sees Aman's photo with a girl who she thinks he's married to? So she thinks she's fallen in love with a married man? Sounds familiar? It would have been so much better to have Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna and then Kal Ho Na Ho. It makes total sense and would have added to the twist of the latter. But then, even on its original release date, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna was and is still considered ahead of its time, so I guess it was just fate. Regardless, this might be one of the saddest films to watch, even now. The film's first half is filled with silly humor, but some tragedies, but then it slowly fades out to take on more serious subjects. Also, you never really feel content in any situation at any point in the film. There's never like an end to this film. It's like just sadness throughout. It's really tragic. I mean, it's really tragic. Even in the end, it always keeps you on the edge, which I think is a really great thing, because you think, will they be together at the end? But at what cost? Or will they even be together now? Remember what happened in Kal Ho Na Ho? You know, you just can't expect it. But even a decade later, or however long has it been, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna is a true classic in all means, and is the kind of film that will only age like a fine wine as time goes on. But hey, never say goodbye, right? Or in other words, Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. Take care.